My teacher said that we are going on a field trip, so we all got really excited. Then she said to a museum. Well, that stopped us because most of the time, our field trips are to a zoo or somewhere else fun. My brother said I'd like getting out of school for the afternoon, even if the museum was boring and smelled like mold. The bus ride was fun, but it was short. The museum was in our town. Guess what? I never even paid attention to it, and there it was, on the corner of Main Street all this time. First of all, they divided us into small groups of 6. My group had 5 because, when you divide up kids, there's always 1 or 2 left over, or not enough. Our group got to walk around and listen to museum people talk about what life was like for kids a long time ago. Did you know that girls wore long dresses all the time? Really, they did, even when they were playing. And their shoes were pointy-toed with buttons. No tennis shoes back then. Really. Our teacher asked us to list what we liked and what we learned. This is my list. Wagon wheels were so big, they could work on really rough ground. They didn't always have roads, and just so you know, it was too bouncy to ride in the wagons. The people walked. We saw a fire truck that wasn't really a fire truck, but a big tank with wheels. The museum lady said the wheels were so big so one fireman could pull the whole thing to a fire without anybody helping. We saw Indian stuff like arrowheads that you can find by the creek here in Weston. And we learned about how different our town was before so many new people settled here. There were a lot of trees, and the river was at the bottom of Main Street. Oh, and I can't wait to tell my uncle about how I got to work in mortar and pestle. He'll be impressed that I even know what that is. He works at a drugstore. Did you know that doctors used to come to your houses? That really surprised me. We saw a big horse backpack that used to be filled with doctor tools. We couldn't touch it. The woman said that the oil from her hands would make it degrade. My mom was impressed I even knew what the word was when I told her about it. At our house, we get the Weston Chronicle newspaper. Sometimes my picture is even in it. We got to see what an old-timey newspaper office looks like. I've never seen a typewriter in real life before, but now I have. That was interesting. Oh, and we got to see an old iPhone. I think it would be really hard to work one of those all the time. No buttons. You had to turn a dial to get the numbers. It did have letters, but you still couldn't send a text. There were old-fashioned dolls and lots of toys in a case. We couldn't touch them, but they were really fun to see. I like my dolls and toys better. One boy asked about Legos. They did not have them back then. And no iPads. Wow, that made all of us sorry for the kids. It was probably pretty boring. The boys liked the barber chair. And there was a real bear rug. We got to pet it and even put our fingers in its mouth and touch its teeth. We didn't get to stay as long as we wanted. There's a lot more to see, so I'm going to ask my mom to bring me back with my brother. Or maybe I'll ask my grandma. I think I can be the tour guide when we go back. I'll bet she'll like seeing all the stuff they have there. She's pretty old. I'm a member of the museum now. It's all official with a real card signed by me and by the museum president and director. We all told our teacher that we want to go back. Well, we also want to visit the zoo sometimes. I hope we get to do that too.